Bye. Namaste.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's good.
Good. What a lovely live. So we'll just wait for people to begin to come on over.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It turned out so well. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's good.
It's
I
great.
just signed in on the wrong. I didn't notice what YouTube account I was in. Oops.
That's
But that's
fine.
fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hello, Creatrix. Oh, Kevin and Tammy. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Rosie. So nice to see you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Rosie. I'm gonna, as people are coming in, Iris, we're gonna kind of recap what we just watched and what we were talking about, and then I'm actually, if you're up for it, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat.
Sure, yeah.
Oh my gosh, and people can actually join us. I've not done that over here yet. I don't know why. Yeah, let me put the background up. Okay, there we go. So we look a little ethereal while we're at it.
Great. That's wonderful.
All right, let me see. I should be able to drop the link in the chat here. All right. So while we're waiting for people to come on in, thank you again. What a fabulous discussion. I learned even more as I was watching it again. Just
Mhm.
amazing. And I've been this weekend going through kind of my own little shamanic journey, initiation, yada, yada,
Amazing.
yada.
Mhm.
It, I will say, you know, if anyone's ever, considered it, it's not a small undertaking. Um, oh, what are we doing here? Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, that's good. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Kevin.
Kev. Um, I will say that it's a very interesting ethereal. I can't even describe the experience of going through the initiation rites, right? It's just
Mhm.
it is really an amazing. You just tap into. What's so interesting to me, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that the more as I grow in this, and as the understanding, the ascension, and whatnot, everything expands. Every experience is just adds another layer, and it gives you another
Mhm.
depth, right? Another
Nice,
point
yeah.
of depth. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
And I would say that shamanism has the ability to connect us, like we're the connection point from the universe to the earth, and shamanism connects us both to the earth and to the ethereal realms. So you really feel both of them, because
Mhm.
many spiritual traditions are sort of more focused upward. They're sort of more
Yes.
focused on the divine light energies. It's all light, but they're not as connected to the earth and to nature, and that,
Mhm.
in my mind, is equally important, because we are here in this body on this planet, and we are also
Mhm.
part of nature. We're not separate. We have separated ourselves.
I
But
agree.
shamanism allows you to be the point, the connection point between the two, and it's a really amazing and powerful experience. And of
I
course, an initiation is an entire different thing, but initiations often happen when you start. Even going on a journey and meeting your spirit guides for the first time is an initiation. Hey, Joy. Hi.
That's
Thanks.
interesting. That is an I did I guess I never even thought about it like that. We think of those initiations as, I don't know what we think of it as. I can't even tell you. I have no
Well, as
idea.
like a formal thing that you need to be initiated into some like rites or a temple or an order or something like that. But actually, in shamanic practice, a lot of the initiations come from the spirits. And
Mhm.
they're like personal initiations, and that can be just as powerful, even more powerful in a way.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I truly believe so.
And Facebook user, I'm sorry, I'm commenting on this. Is this? I just want to say, the person who has a squirrel watching you, a squirrel is considered the most shamanic animal because it can run up and down the tree of life. It is actually like a spirit guide for shamanism. If you have a squirrel as your spirit animal, that is a shamanic. We are going up and we are going down, just like the squirrel. So I'm just
Wow, I've
share
never
that.
heard that. My
Yeah.
goodness.
So whenever in my training, whenever someone saw a squirrel or dreamed of a squirrel or had a squirrel, my teacher would be like, "Oh yeah, that's the shaman. That's a shamanic squirrel."
Oh
Sorry,
my
getting off the topic.
gosh. Good Lord, I've had squirrels all around me all the time. Never
Well, there
knew
you
that.
go. That's the shamanism calling you. That's the up and the down, calling you to be grounded.
Lord knows I've needed that a lot lately. Um
We all do. Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, we also have Facebook user, and I'm sorry because I can't see in this restream, guys, um, who's who and what's what. So speaks to snake and eagle. Um, are you asking Iris to speak to the snake and the eagle, or are you saying that it speaks to like a connection between the snake on the ground and the
Yeah. I
eagle
think
in the condor eagle in the air?
that's possible.
That'd be wonderful. Hey, Joy.
Yeah, squirrels and ravens are amazing. They see the truth. So they are like, I was taught that crows and ravens, they are the ones who speak the truth. Yeah. So they're they're kind of like, if you say something, then and you hear a crow caw or a raven, that's like a
Uh-huh.
yes. And it
Wow.
actually happens. I have a lot of crows around and ravens, and they that happens in sessions where suddenly I'll be talking and then there will be the crow. So,
Wow.
and this is taking inspiration from nature around us, not actually, it's not in a vision, it's actually happening, because from the shamanic way of speaking, all nature, all life is spirit, and we're interacting with it all the time. So it's not like we just go into the spirit realm and interact there. We're actually interacting with the spirit realm all the time through nature. And there's something called a medicine walk, which some of you may have heard of, where you go on a walk in nature with a problem in mind often, and you interpret everything that you see. It becomes a message for you.
Mhm.
And it can be, it's very, very powerful. It's sort of like you enter into a waking dream and you look at, I see a bird flying away. That means that maybe I need freedom, or there's a stick blocking my path. Then that means that my path, my energy is stagnant. I need to go. It's quite amazing. Um, and it's a really powerful and important way to connect to the spirit world, but through the actual world. You're just going on a walk in a park, or even in a city. You can do it in a city. I'm
Mhm.
glad that you agree, red violet crystals. Yeah, it's really amazing. And I was doing that. I've always done that without knowing what it was. And I think a lot of people do. They can
Mhm.
feel that in nature. They can feel that power.
Yeah.
And that power in nature is the power that we have inside of us. So that's
Yes.
why going on, learning to do shamanic journeying and working with the elements and working with rituals and connecting to your own spirit guidance just opens up this whole area
Yeah.
of power that's currently kind of hidden.
Yes. Yes. For me, it's again because as we talked about during the interview, it's water. So when even as a young adult, well, not really an adult, 17-year-old girl in in college, and it was right on Lake Michigan.
Mm.
So whenever I needed some peace or to think or to just process what was going on, because there was a lot going on in life, I
Mhm.
would go down by the lake, and I didn't care if it was the dead of winter. I went down to the
Yeah.
lake and just sat and would listen to the waves and allow the waves to speak to me.
Yeah.
Um, didn't understand, of course, that's what was happening at that point, but I just knew I needed to be by the lake.
Yeah.
Absolutely needed water. Okay, so we've got Rosie. her Viking ancestor's name was the Crow. My goodness.
Yeah.
And Odin has two ravens. Yes.
Yeah, and the Vikings are very strong ancestral heritage to have. Another thing that I didn't talk about at all actually was working with ancestors, and you can learn to work with ancestors in a shamanic way, and connect to their power, and also connect to the parts that need healing, because we all inherit ancestral patterns that are not good, right? We're all born just like we're born with different hair or eye color. We are all born with the patterns, carrying the patterns of our ancestors, and some of those are good. Some of those are gifts, an ability to sing or whatever. But some of them are not so good, and we carry them into the world. And it's like we see the world through ancestor tinted glasses. We can only see it through the lens of those who have gone before us in a way. And when we start to liberate those energies, to find out where some of our behavioral patterns are coming from. In my case, it was really my low self-esteem and my anxiety. A lot of it wasn't mine, and I had this huge anger. And that's ancestral. And when you start to clear that, then it opens up a whole new world of connection to the ancestral realm.
What the shame of it all is, I'm listening to you talk about it, is, in the Christian church, it's well, at least in the charismatic church. I don't know about other, more denominational sects, but it's always been discussed as generational curses, right? And that things passed on generation to generation. But that religion and those practices removed the power of understanding that we are so connected to the ancestors, and not in always in a negative way, right?
It's definitely not always in a negative way. Yeah. It's true. And yes, there can be curses. Curses is a strong word, but there can be really powerful energies that cause a lot of damage. I have seen that.
Yep.
That does exist, but it's still connected to those who've gone before. Like, it's still connected to the ancestors.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, curses are quite powerful. I mean, we toss that around a lot in the church. I mean, that was just
that's okay. And it can be, but often it's more complicated. But that is something that you can, like, I have done curse lifting. Part of ancestral work does involve that, but it also involves liberating the power, like the power of the strong female lineage that we were talking about, the ancestors. And there's a lot of power for us there. I just want to say, Erica, sorry. Yes, if you're drawn to storms and you're drawn to birds, you're drawn to maybe the air element. You're drawn to the power of that transformation of the air and the water, and birds are most likely your power animal. I mean, if you were going on a shamanic journey, you can find that. You can find out which bird perhaps is your power animal. But there, like I was saying in the interview, there is an element that calls to you. And storms, it's air, but it's also water. I'd say primarily air. Oh yes, okay, yeah. So Rosie is talking about what would be like an ancestral pattern or a curse, with the Vikings attacking Paris and releasing the city, and then 800 years later, yeah. That's definitely an ancestral energy. That's a heavy ancestral energy there. For sure.
But
that can be liberated, but I've seen some amazing kind of ancestral. I mean, I can go into detail of some amazing things, but Rosie, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Wow. And see, to me, that's kind of a situation. And for those of you who are watching in the comments here, I'm going to post a series of links. The first one I just posted is if you would like to book a free 20-minute kind of tester, session if you've never worked with a shaman before. Iris has been so gracious to offer that to you guys as listeners and as watchers. And then also, we're going to post, where we'll talk about this in a little bit too, her 2-day workshop, a link to enroll, to sign up for that 2-day workshop. It it is going to be a powerful, transformative experience. And you guys know I don't take that lightly. I don't just put anybody up here. So if I'm saying this is going to be amazing, run, don't walk, run. Okay. Sign up immediately. Rosie's asking if you can help with that. Well, I would assume that would be something that,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something I have helped people with really heavy generation, like curses, and where the energies are kind of fighting each other in the family, like one side fighting the other side, which it sounds kind of like may be going on with you. And once that is lifted, then there's much more peace, for sure.
I found that what we used to term as curses, when I've done work in releasing that in the past, it's been more of some sort of, I almost hate to call it contractual, but it's almost usually some sort of contractual agreement. Like somebody, an ancestor in the past, wanted certain things to happen. And so they may have done some ritual or done something, and then kind of, to gain something in their current incarnation that had negative, or should I say shadow, repercussions later on down the line. How do you feel about something like that?
Yeah, I think that can definitely happen if someone makes, well, we do have soul agreements, like soul contracts that we have with other people in our lives and from past lives. But you could also have a soul contract from a family. Like if someone, I have one from a really far away ancestor who was an alchemist, amusingly. I just remembered this one. And he made a deal with something that wasn't so nice to get power. And that thing was what was kind of haunting the family energy on my father's side really a lot. And that was like a curse, but it's not a curse because it was entered into like knowingly. A curse in my mind is something where someone else curses you. Like I curse you to always, I have worked with people where all the women die after a certain age, where no one has any children, where all the, where someone has actually thrown a curse. May you always be unhappy. May you never have enough. May you whatever, out of spite, and they can be done not deliberately, but the classic curse is deliberate. So, Rosie, I'm looking forward to connecting to you. But yes, that is, and then we have patterns where we inherit a way of being, like an energy, a way of, like if your ancestors were Catholic like the Irish Catholics who were hidden in the Protestant country, they may have realized that they had to be very secretive. And so they hid everything from everyone, and then it would be passed on. So you have an ancestor who's 200 years later can't be honest even with themselves. They can't be open. They don't have good access to their own emotions, and that could be going back to their ancestors who were hiding the priest in the closet. That's how it works. And those ancestors would have thought that it was a great idea to be secretive because it saves them. So you have to do a sort of negotiation.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've kind of gone. We're talking about ancestral now, not shamanic journeying.
No, that's okay. No, listen, these lives can go any which way, right?
Right. That's great, because ancestral healing is something that I do a lot of, actually. But at the moment, with my course, my workshop next weekend, it's going to be about shamanic journeying and connecting to your own guidance.
That's amazing. Hang on one second. I'm putting that link up. Workshop. Let me spell it right.
And I just want to say, Mystical Mind 27, an owl is a really strong connection to the spirit world. So, and a connection to the world of dreaming. So it is, an owl can come giving that kind of medicine, that kind of message. And it can also be from your relatives. If you feel like there's something that is a warning, then pay attention, because an owl is also can be like a warning of some kind, like an omen. It is connected with death, but I don't think that in your case there is anything like that. I think it's more about the spirit world. The owl from Mystical Mind 27.
Especially
I think
in broad daylight.
I think it's
especially since it came in broad daylight.
Yeah, it doesn't feel, it's not that at all. It could be your relatives, but it can also be, I would say it's a confirmation, like a confirmation of the spirit world saying, hi there.
We're We're here.
Yeah,
Hello.
confirmation for sure. Yeah, for sure. Don't worry about that. Yeah, and that's good. I'm glad that you agree. It is. And one of my power animals, and we can have more than one, which is interesting. But one of mine is an owl, and it had to keep. I didn't know it, and it had to keep showing up in dreams until I got it. And then I heard an actual owl, and I thought, okay, yeah, pay attention to us. Yeah, exactly. They do that. If you're ignoring the guidance from spirit, they'll just come and keep knocking in the door in your dreams, in reality, whatever, until you hear it. Yeah.
Awesome. So Rosie's asking about, yep, Rosie, we're getting back to that. So the shamanic journey and the medicine wheel. So let's talk about journeying first, because that's what this your 2-day right workshop is going to be. And then if you want to talk a little bit about the medicine wheel, we can, but let's talk about journeying first.
Yeah, so shamanic journeying is the method that we use to connect to the spirit world. Obviously, the spirit world is just the other side of this world. It's just right next to us. I was taught that it's as close to us as the thickness of a maple leaf, so just like here. But we don't see it because we're very preoccupied with being in this reality, with being here. And our ancestors would all have been able to acknowledge that reality and connect to it through some way. So shamanic journeying in the modern practice, it's often done listening to a drum track, something called a sonic driver, which is very fast, and that puts our mind in a theta wave state, like this deep state of relaxation, almost like lucid dreaming, where you connect to the spirit world. It doesn't have to be. It can also be done through like a meditation. I actually lead people in shamanic journey meditations where my channeling takes people on a journey, and that is also a journey. So in some ways you can go on a journey even through a guided meditation, but it has to be done in sort of with the right sort of way. There's a little bit of an architecture, so there's a structure to the upper world, the lower world, and the middle world, and we journey to those places with specific goals in mind. We journey to the lower world to meet our power animal. We journey to the upper world to meet our spirit guide. It's not hard and fast, but we decide where we're going to go, and we go there. And with a very strong intention in mind, because intention, as you know, Lisa, is everything in the world of spirit. Intention is reality. So we go there with a strong intention, with these guidelines, with the intention that we're going to meet our power animal. And we do. I mean, 9 times out of 10, sometimes it takes a bit of time to get the brain out of the way, to get the part of you that says, oh, I'm just making this up. It can take a lot of time. But once you can have an experience straight away, and it's like part of our spiritual DNA. It's part of being human, is being able to go to the spirit world. It's not something just for people who are, seers or psychic or initiated in whatever. It is for everyone, and it can be used by everyone just as a tool in like your toolkit of life, and so it can really help you. Like I had a when I was working as a graphic designer, I knew that they were going to cut graphic designers, and I didn't know what to do because I wanted to keep the job. And I was trying to get pregnant at the time, and it was like the right kind of job. So I went on a journey, and I didn't even get messages. I got shown a toolbox, and that toolbox was use your tools.
Wow.
And I went and I thought about it, and I thought, okay, I know what that is. And the next day I said, hi, I can do web design. And they said, oh, great. That's great. We didn't want to let you go. Here you go. You be a web designer for a year. And I did. And it was perfect. And I would never have thought of it.
Amazing. That is amazing.
It's just a really practical example.
Yeah. So you can journey at any time, right?
Yeah.
It's not just relegated to just discovering or meeting your power animal or your guides. You can do this at any time.
No, you journey to make the connection, which is what I'm offering next weekend. We're going to do a bunch of journeys in a bunch of different ways, including the traditional one, the guided one, some dancing, lots of different things. Yeah. You meet them, and hi Cynthia, you meet them and you start a relationship. It's just like meeting a friend. You establish the relationship, and then they're in your team, and you can always journey. And there are journey tracks. I'm going to give a free one of mine, so you can listen to this recording. And then every time you listen to the recording, you follow the steps to go down to the lower world, to go up to the upper world, and you meet your spirit team, and you get guidance. And it's so helpful. It's like this. That's why I called it a journey of transformation. It is a transformation because you can get the guidance that you need to transform your life. Yeah.
That's just amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Guys, I'm going to be signing up for this. So, no pressure. This is just amazing. Yeah, I'm going to clear something off my calendar. So, huh?
That sounds amazing. I'd love to have you there. Yeah.
That would be absolutely amazing. So I want, if you don't mind, and then we will talk about the medicine wheel just a little bit, Rosie, just give us a moment. Can you tell us the difference between spirit animal, between power animal, between totem? What are, I mean, I've seen these different labels, if you will. So could you tell us a little bit about the difference?
Yeah, so there are different schools of thought, and as far as I know, there's no one right or wrong. But traditionally, in Native American culture, you are assigned, like you have a totem. The totem can be part of your culture, as in part of your clan. You can also have a totem, and this is complicated. You can have a totem that's your personal totem, then you can have a clan totem, there's a lot of stuff going on. The power animal is the reflection of your spirit essence in animal form. So you will have one animal, in theory, that almost chooses you, or you choose it, and it is your spiritual essence, but in animal form, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so if we're all connected to our power animal, but if the power animal gets disconnected, and sometimes it does through shock and trauma or through life, you can be missing vitality. Like you're missing a part of yourself because this animal is a part of you, and you need it to be there. So often when people meet their power animal for the first time, they feel like they're coming home, like they meet there's just this immediate love and connection, whatever it is. And power animal doesn't have to be like a big mountain lion, it can be a mouse, but the qualities and the love there for you is immense. And yes, we talk about in traditional teachings, you look at someone and you should be able to tell like what maybe they look like they have a hawk as a power animal, and you can tell, but I don't really think that that's true. I can't tell what your power animal is by looking at you, right. Nor could someone tell about me, but you can have more than one. I have one that's my primary one about my own life journey and transformation, which started coming to me in dreams, and I kept dreaming about this really sick cat. Sick little, it was a little kind of scruffy wild cat looking, but it was sick. And it took me years, really, and this is even before like I was properly in the shamanic path, to realize that it was my power animal, and it was sick because it wasn't being fed. It wasn't being fed, and it was disconnected from me. And and then eventually, as I started finding my power and growing more, it became more and more alive until it's this like splendid lynx that sometimes shapeshifts into other animals, but yeah. And so the power animal is the one that we seek more than the totem. There's a whole another bunch of teachings about the animal totem, but the power animal is the one that we're looking for, the personal connection that we have with this being.
That's awesome.
When we go to the lower world, and you can have more than one. And often, yes, like Cynthia, if you see a deer a lot, that can be an animal that you see all the time, or that always comes up, can be your power animal. Yeah, that can be, or it can also be a message from, because the animals can also bring messages. So a
Yes,
deer
I can.
can bring a message of gentleness and this feminine energy, and this group energy. Yeah. So that can be that message for you, that you need to come to a group, a feminine or a sharing kind of circle. They have a spiritual message as well. That's kind of what deer energy brings. You'd say deer medicine in shamanic. And yes, Moni, yes, I hope I'm saying your name right. Deceased family members can be spirit guides. There's a process that happens after they die called ancestralization, where they actually become well in spirit. Because when people die, they're just people who are dead. They're not automatically angels. They have to go through a process of working through their life and the things that they maybe did wrong, or the patterns that they had to learn. But once they've gone through that process, and it can happen quickly, they can be spirit guides. I would be a little bit cautious of working with someone who was recently deceased, because sometimes it takes some time. But if it's like a grandmother or someone else, then that's definitely possible for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out who the Facebook user is. Facebook user, I can't unfortunately see who you are. If you could, and I apologize, guys, for the dog. I think my family's just come home. Oh yeah, family's home. Okay, who
Yes,
am I?
so I can answer this question even though we don't know your name, Facebook user. That is, yeah, that does sound like you were being hassled by a negative entity or something that was really kind of messing with you, and that can happen. It can cause a lot of fear. And if you were going through psychosis, interestingly, a lot of psychoses are caused by spirit intrusion. So somebody who is psychotic is often just very, very open to the spirit world. So if you felt like you were being chased and persecuted, and they, it said that it got rid of your owl, that is something that is a bad influence and was giving you a hard time. I hope you're having a better time now. Jason, is it Jason? Okay, Jason, I hope you're having a better time now. Just know that when something like that is coming at you from the outside, you have your own guidance inside. Your owl is still with you. That, if that's your power animal, I believe it is, your owl is still there. Nothing can take it away. And if you were being chased and you felt like you were seeing things again, it's very, very hard, because I went through that experience more or less, not maybe so well from when I was younger. It's hard to find the way forward, but just know that you have it. Everything is there. You are not alone. You have spirit guidance. You have help, and learning to increase your protection is okay. It is there. Okay, great. That's wonderful. So you're saying that it's fine. So learning to increase your protection just in general for everyone is very helpful, because there are a lot of energies that kind of try and get in. Like all of us, I think, in this chat have gifts, and the brighter you shine, the more like moths are drawn to the flame. So that can happen. Yeah. So mystical mind, I think you mean transfer your spiritual gifts, if that's what you mean. And if so, probably no. But also you can. It depends. If you can give me a little bit more clarification on that, that would be helpful. Okay, so you mean like transfer your spiritual gifts? I would say not really. You can in a way by passing on the teachings that you're given. Like if you have gifts from spirit, like I know Dr. Lisa does a lot of channeling. She's passing on her gifts from spirit to other people, and the same for me is passing on. We're born with an ability and a reason to live, to pass this stuff on. But to actually give my ability to channel and stuff, then no, I would say no, probably not. But you can pass on your knowledge, you can pass on your gifts. And of course, if you have children, they can inherit your gifts in a way, but that's a different thing. But your own ability and your own, your gifts are yours alone, and you can share them with the world.
Okay. Get rid of him.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just gonna run over to. Let me go over to my YouTube and block that person there, so they can't.
And yes, you can have a genetic legacy of ability to be a channel, a medium, a seer, a mystic, whatever you want to call it. Whatever your ability is, it is most likely genetic as well as spiritual. Like you comes from your ancestors and from yourself. There's something we have both soul lineage and it's called the white line, which is your soul line, all of your incarnations, and you have all of these gifts that come with your soul, and then you have your red line, the blood lineage, the gifts that come from your ancestors, and they work together. So often we have gifts from both, or we always have gifts from both. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me just. Thank you. Now there is something that we do, mystical. I think you may have heard me speak about this, and certainly those that are in the program or have been involved in any of my Reiki attunements know that I talk about impartation of gifts. We talked about that in the church a lot. Did it a lot in the church. What I've come to understand, it is not so much that I am imparting necessarily a gift, but I'm more, or an ability. I prefer to call them abilities, but literally coming in and flipping the switch and turning it on for you. Because the other party, I believe, we have the ability to access abilities, spiritual abilities, at any point in time. Some we are incarnated with and we come here. This is my belief. Let's say it, Lisa. Take it for what it's worth. That and $1, get you a cup of coffee. So you can, you're incarnated with some that are stronger. But there are others that get turned on or you can gain access to as you need to turn them on in the toolbox. So for instance, I was not necessarily growing up or until fairly recently very adept at mediumship in the classical sense of the word, but probably about maybe 2 years ago or something. At this point, I'm sitting here on YouTube pulling cards for people and giving messages for individuals, and all of a sudden I hear somebody's grandmother in the background, like knock knock, like literally it was a door knocking. Tell my granddaughter. And I'm like, tell your granddaughter what? Who are you? I'm like, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden then it was just this rush. So at that point, the mediumship was, turned on, or, helping people cross over. That was not something until a few years back when my grandmother crossed over. I had no idea that I could even help somebody transition. I didn't know anything about that. So it just sort of happened, right? I mean, it got turned on, but we can. So when I say the impartation, that's just because we typically said that, right? It's for me, I've come to the realization that it's really just kind of going in and helping it get turned on.
Yeah, and that's so you're not so much passing on your own ability, but helping other people turn on their own, which is exactly what I do. Yeah. And you're right, it's an ability, not a gift, because it isn't just given to you. It takes hard work and it takes discovery, and it opens up as you're going along, like like any kind of skill.
Yes.
I used to only be clairsentient, just feeling things, but now I'm all of it. The audience, the visual, the everything, and it's opened up as time goes on.
Yes. Let's see here. Moni is asked. She says she has very vivid dreams in color, touch, and smell. I don't think that's weird at all.
Yeah, no, and you say that you wake up your dreams and you're dreaming. It sounds like you're experiencing lucid dreams.
Yep.
And lucid dreams are actually a really powerful way. It was taught that they're the closest we can get to the world of spirit. So they're basically like it is to be without a body. Lucid dreaming is like when you die, it's like a lucid dream. And I do a lot of work with dead people. I do have that mission to help people cross over, and I would confirm that yes, it is like that. It really is.
Yeah.
So we can connect through your dreams. You can connect to the world of spirit, not just the world of dead people, but to the spirit world. It's like another way of shamanic journeying. And that was
Yeah.
part of my training as well, was to learn to lucid dream. So it's a really powerful way, Moni. And I would say that you can learn to work with that by setting an intention, by calling in your spirit guides or the highest love and light or God or the angels or whoever you work with before you go to sleep, and then set an intention that you will wake up in your dreams and you will do something like, maybe you want to travel to the past and visit an ancestor who can teach you something. Maybe you want to go to the pyramids and see what's going on there. You can set an intention and voyage in your dreams. Just make sure that you call in protection before you start, and you set your own really strong intention, and it will help.
Yes.
Okay, so Jess Jazzy Heyoka. I love the Heyoka. You obviously know what a Heyoka is, the sacred clown. The sacred clown of the American Native Americans is Lakota, the Heyokas. Amazing energy. So you have an American eagle and a mother. That's amazing. And a hawk. I don't know if you're visiting them in real life or in journeying. A hawk and an eagle, their energy is overseeing. So they're looking over the world. They have, if you visit or see or have a power animal that's a hawk, you have an amazing eagle eye view. And in fact, this is something that was really encouraged in my training, was having the eagle eye view, taking a big overview, not looking at every little step, every little thing. You're looking at the overview of your life. You can look, and then you can see something that you need to focus on. And when you focus, you can go for it. Just like the hawk going, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of force, there's a lot of vision in that spirit animal, that power animal, the hawk and the eagle.
Very powerful.
So if you identify with that, if you feel like, yes, that's true, then that is likely your power animal. So yeah, it's really, it's cool that you have that. And like I said, they come to us. They come to us. They want us to know.
Yeah. So Rosie talks of passed on. So I also, and I would imagine you did as well, Iris.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely some things when I say we incarnated with them. I feel, yes, we come from lineages. So all the women on my mother's side specifically,
Mm-hmm.
all have I shouldn't say all. My mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother. So at least my female lineage, I can't speak on from one of my aunts did. We have the gift of sight. Like the gift of sight, clear audience to an degree. So clear sentience, clear audience, clear whatever the other clear is. We're seers. That's just who we are. We're seers, and we are also, there's some various other things that, my mother will be like, I'm not that, but yes, you are. So yeah, so there's certain aspects of it. We're medicine women, and we're teachers, and we're mentors, and we're priestesses. We'll just put it that way. So there definitely was things that was passed down through the lineage. But I would say that there are definitely other abilities that we picked up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same for me as well. Particularly my mother's line, but also in my father's line, there's a really strong connection genetically. Like my grandmother, my mother's mother, was totally in denial. She wouldn't even, we don't talk about that, but it was strong, and the other side as well. So, and both of my parents are very, they also do shamanic stuff, and my dad's out there talking to trees all the time, and it's genetic. My sister also is the same, so it's very clear that it's genetic, but it also comes.
Yeah.
So Cynthia, that is something that's called Psychopomp, and that's a terrible word in English. It's in French, it's actually called passus d'âme, which is passer of souls, which I think is a much nicer word. So you help the souls pass over. It's a very specific part. So it's it's a very specific way to help the spirit. It's also one of my main callings. It was actually my first calling, my very first shamanic journey that I went on, and I had been warned, like, don't talk to dead people, from my teacher, who at the time was a very strict and, afraid. And the very first one, my grandmother had recently died, and she showed up. And so ever since, it has all been about helping the spirits. There is a way to do it, and I can teach that, and I will at some point teach that as a class. I can teach that privately. It's very intense.
Yes.
But Cynthia, if that's your calling, yeah, I can help you with that. I can totally help you with that, because I have, a very long time, but 12 years, I guess, of actively doing it on a conscious level.
Yes.
And have helped very many people. So I'm happy to do that. It's a very sacred calling. It's not an easy one, but it's something to help.
Yeah, I don't envy that. I do not envy that calling. Like, there's a lot of things that I do, that I know how to do, but I don't like doing it per se, and just because it's heavy.
It's
It's heavy.
heavy.
Yeah.
It can be amazing.
Yes.
There's something about helping someone get to where they need to go, but it also can be very challenging. Especially when they're children or someone, like a family member. I have a family member who was murdered recently, and that's just hard.
Yes.
But also extremely worthwhile.
Yes.
So
Completely agree.
yeah, but you do have to be careful of your energy and protect the energy
Yes.
around you to
Yeah.
make sure.
That doing that is one of the few times I don't, and I don't tell everybody not to do that. There's a certain amount of just standardized, if you will, kind of armament or protection that's always around me. So I don't necessarily do a lot of the protection things that other people do, but I don't try that at home. But those, when working with that, helping spirits cross, that definitely is the time where I'm like, whoa, hey, yo, okay, let me. And I think it's probably because we're so intertwined in both realms. And you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's different. It's just like we're so intertwined in both sides at all times. It's like I have to be sure I'm keeping my footing and keeping that protection and keeping that grounding, especially when it's been a traumatic death.
Yeah, especially when it's been a traumatic death. It's true, because you can have people that don't even know that they're dead, and that's hard. You have to first start out convincing them. I've had people that accused me of killing them because they die, and then all of a sudden I'm there. It can get very complicated and challenging. Yeah, and yes, that's
That's a
been
whole discussion. I would love to have that. I mean, we could swap stories probably all day
yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
one and this one and this one. Like,
There's so many. Yeah.
oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we won't, because okay, guys, we're gonna start
Yeah,
wrapping this
no,
up.
but it is. But the thing I'll say about it is, it's just bringing light.
Hmm.
It's bringing people to the light, and whether they're alive or dead, it's kind of the same mission in a way. Not that I'm
Yeah.
actually like. It's more dramatic when they're dead. Let's put it that way. But it's still
Yes.
about transformation. It's still about this alchemy of transforming something heavy or something stuck into something light and beautiful,
Yes.
and letting the energy flow freely. So it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it is.
About it's
So
a transformation.
I know we didn't get into the medicine wheel. I think that's going to be, if you mentioned, a subsequent kind of
Yeah,
cohort that you'll be doing in 2022.
that's right.
Um, yeah. So Rosie, I apologize. And I'm sure that the two of you can chitty chat about that when you guys
Okay. Yeah.
talk. But I do believe I put those links. They're in the description as well, for both the gift from Iris, of the 20-minute kind of taster, right? Just kind of a 20-minute interaction between you and whoever signs up for that. And
Mhm.
then I do want to talk about the journeying, the workshop, the 2-day workshop. Um, guys, this is like an amazing, and I know you guys are probably like, she's going, I'm let me tell you something. I've done a whole lot, right? But that doesn't mean I don't go to an expert, right? It's one that works in there in those arenas, and it's fine. Like I am just very excited. I'm gonna try to move some stuff off my calendar so that I can attend. So you've got the 2-day workshop. Do you remember what the times? I can bring it up on this actually.
Yeah, so the time it's from 10 until 1:30, so it's 3.5 hours a day. Is that right? Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's 7 Pacific. So sorry for those of you who are on the West Coast.
Oh, yes.
So it's 3.5 hours on both days. And if you can't make a day, you can also watch the recording because I am tuning into that. There you go. Yeah, it's that's right. So it's 10 to 1:30 Eastern and 7 to 11:30 Pacific. So it's going to be 9 to 12:30 Central.
Central. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then
And then
8
8
to
to 11:30 Mountain.
that's
Yep.
right. Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't list them all because I have people coming from here, and that's
Yes.
yeah.
Now, I will also, there's 2 different levels. You're getting a $600 value of not only the 7 hours of instruction, the gift, Iris's free gift of her shamanic journeying drumming track, recorded shamanic journeying meditation, her guide how to journey for guidance and healing, and recording of all the sessions for only $97. That is an amazing opportunity for those 7 hours. And then if you want to, and I would really encourage you to do this, let this be an early Christmas gift to yourself, right? $197 for the VIP package. And do you want to talk about what the difference is then, Iris, between the VIP package and the regular package?
Sure. Yeah. The VIP package is that you get a personal session with me of an hour, and so we can do shamanic mentoring, which is me, channeling spirit guidance and speaking that to you to your life journey. We talk about your life journey, and I speak the guidance that's channeled. Um, you know, or we can do a little sort of mini shamanic healing session where we have a little chat and then do probably about a half an hour energy work shamanic session and then a chat afterwards. And so that is a really incredible offer because normally it's about $300 for just not including the 7 hours. But I really wanted to make this accessible to lots of people. I've been encouraged very strongly by the spirits to get my name out there, and so here I am getting my name out there doing this. I've not done much social media, but I'm starting to. And thank you all for being there. And I just wanted to offer that to as a gift for people starting this. So yeah, Rosie, I really look forward to seeing that. There is some of it goes until February that you can book the VIP package.
Right. So
Yeah.
don't feel like you guys have to book it like immediately. Like we want you to experience the weekend, let that integrate, and then book the hour. But book
Yeah,
it, closer in. Like don't let this wait till like way out. You want to kind of book it in a little bit closer just so that you can further integrate and just really further kind of dive deeper into your experience. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. And I will give, if you just book the normal one, there will be a discount. So if you then later decide that you want to book the hour, that's also okay, because I'm not going to just make it limited only for that. That's wonderful, Rosie. I really look forward to it. Then I do have something going on, so there's some limited availability before Christmas, and then I'm pretty free after Christmas until the end of February. So really looking forward to working with people, and thank you so much. It's really wonderful to be here.
Thank you. This has been so wonderful. Oh my gosh, this is just
Yeah.
fabulous. We're gonna have Iris back on a lot. She just doesn't know that.
Okay, well, I've enjoyed it. Like I was kind of, oh my gosh, it's my first live. But it's been wonderful. So yeah.
We make it easy over here.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's just we're just 2 girls having coffee or tea. That's all we're
Yeah.
doing.
Indeed.
Iris,
It's wonderful.
thank you so very, very much. And guys, thank you guys for all being here. Thank you for
Mhm.
watching the previous podcast. If you haven't had a chance to watch the podcast, it's already up on my YouTube channel. So go over there and click there on the channel. For those of you that are on Facebook, you can click on YouTube, or I'll try to post it on Facebook as well. Or if you happen to listen to my podcast on, multiple different platforms, we're now on Spotify, we are on
Yay.
iTunes, we are on iHeartRadio, we are on Amazon. We should be on Amazon Music here within another day or two,
Cool.
and hopefully within the next week we will be up on Google Podcasts. So, and we're on Spreaker. So just about anywhere you go and listen to your podcast, please do so. Okay. And then, but again, guys, this is a really, really important event, and I want you guys to be there. Join me at that workshop.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for your energy. Even if we couldn't get to all your questions, I can appreciate the energy that you're bringing. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Lisa. And I really look forward to seeing you next weekend, if you can. That would be awesome. It's gonna be really fun. So anyone who's coming, yay! I'm really excited. Spirit is also really excited. Like my spirit guides are like kind of doing a little happy dance. So that's good. It's not really happened before. So happy dances all around. Yay! That's so great.
Awesome.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
guys, we're going to sign off from here, okay? And as always, peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys so much.
Love to you. Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye.